Um, I'm doing this particular video um, because as those who've come to know me and those who are my friends that operate on a particular level uh, of, of evolution, which is evolution of your soul consciousness, and of course, for me, it's your speed, which is your vibration, what's known as your core blast furnace, which is your soul, which I use a lot of different terms interchangeably to metaphorically and euphemistically use a lot of different visuals, right? We love to learn through visuals, right? Because I did go to their schools, right? And did spend quite a few years in their schools, including going and learning about psychology, the behavioral sciences, learning, cognitive sciences, and then combined all of that with environmental engineering, carbon cycles, water cycles, laws of spheres, and essentially all of this, most of which was essentially to uh, reverse engineer all their programming, if you understand how that works. And so the purpose of this video is for a couple of friends who friended me because creation is a mathematician, absolutely. And the mathematical precision upon which what you understand as math codes are instruction sets. You know what an instructor is, right? In some schools, they'll call teachers instructors, particularly in voc ed. Instruct, like a construct. So you build a house, you constructed something, which is actually an artifact, because they're taking visual mathematical information from living sentient beings, right? In a living battery of living light energies in living spirit with a soul. That's Gaia, Mama Earth, okay? So they take what's living, like a fruit that produces, a tree that produces a fruit. A tree is a mirror, photosynthesis, big breathers, okay? This is very basic stuff, right? So I know that I made a number of comments because of what I've learned, as a result of what I've learned through experience, because experience is the teacher, which is the feedback. So now we're into the speed of the learning, which is how fast is your drive motor. No different than a hard drive that's self-aware, or if you will, artificial intelligence that's self-aware, right? I knew as a child, my soul is running this avatar, okay? That means you can't break my heart, you can't break my spirit because of the job that I got to do here, which is a polarity integrator, okay? Which is a monopole, which means you want to bring the negative and the positive side of electrical currents, the magnetic circuits, the negative and the positive magnetic currents, to join them as one, to bring them into one universe that is in love with itself, that is in peace with itself, that is in harmony with itself, and in rhythm with the waves, so that we're experiencing harmony, which is the music that the spirit dances to. So there's a mathematician in those ratios. Ratios are harmonics, right? That means that the soul and the spirit that is integrated in that mirror has a built-in mathematician. Now, where this gets a little bit, and I'm not going to use the word strange, it's actually quite natural, okay? When you are in love with your mirror, which means, wow. Another word that I saw is called an eek, an exceptionally excited kid, right? So when I was a small child, people that were observing me like the ever-ready pink bunny, right? Because my energies are perfectly balanced between the male and the female side. Cold fusion, hot fission joined as one as a blast furnace. That means that I'm running a very high-speed drive, magnetic drive motor, which means that those circuits are opening and closing at such a high rate of speed that all the fire letters that represent the instruction codes are all lit up like an 8-day clock. That means there ain't no time. There's only zero, which is what love is. It goes on forever, gifting electrons. We're the source of energy that they feed on. Okay? So you realize why they're not very powerful, because anybody that needs energy from you obviously is not very powerful. They haven't managed to learn how to do what? Energy management, which is mathematical management of an energy field, which is based on codes, which is based on math. So when you've reached a certain point in your own learning and evolution to run a high-speed drive motor, like a hyperspeed, like hyperspace, which is hyper-superconductivity, I don't have to think about what it is that I'm doing. It all happens automatically for you, which means that your consciousness, which is your soul consciousness, has a relationship with living energy. And the level of mathematical precision upon which things can happen for you, because it recognizes what you are in energy, because you are one with all that energy, which means there isn't any separation between what you are and what it is. You are experiencing the fire of eternal love that it has for all of creation, because that's the energy that it used to create it with. Okay? So this is why my father would say, where did you learn these things? You haven't even been to school yet. I don't need to go to their school. I'm already there. So now you begin to realize, well, then there's all the others. So if you are what love is, you know the universe began with what love is. That's right. It did. So you represent the one law, which is the highest law, which is the highest code of conduct, which means the mathematician of how the universe works is already known and built in. So I don't need, and I've used this example, okay? When you look at a box, like a puzzle, the picture's already together, okay? You wouldn't be able to experience that picture if it wasn't already built in for your ability to be able to see the universe that's already happening on your behalf, because you're experiencing it in your mirror. So you're a projection system, a holographic projection system. So it happens automatically depending on where you go. So for example, right now what's on the inside of this room is based on all the bits and bytes of mathematical information that's being produced that I see with my eyes, you see with your eyes, it's being produced in your mirror, the same it is in my mirror. That's the speed at which it's taking place, right? Okay, so now what we want to do is say, okay, we need to figure out how all this works. Okay, so now we're going to spend all this time going in textbooks and classes and breaking this all down, and it's just like, man, you realize how much time everybody's taking to break down the bits and bytes that are already happening at such a high rate of speed, because it's happening automatically for you, because you have a relationship with the universe that loves you because you love it in your mirror. See, that means that everything that is in my mirror is what I'm giving love to. So that means I represent the source, or we represent the source of energy upon which creation takes place. Right? So once you've reached a point where it's your energy that is pure energy, because it's pure light, which is the spirit that is in that light that's on fire, means you're running a high-speed drive motor. And that drive motor is what protects creation. It's also the same drive motor that creates out of what love is. So that's a highly creative mind. That's highly creative energy. So I know this as a child, that the best way to break programming is to exercise the creative mind, to create something different than what was programmed before, that's held in RAM, that you realize your own mirror doesn't serve you. Why? Because you're losing energy by having an attachment to something that's feeding on you. Draining your battery. Slowing your speed down. See, you realize I'm a source of energy for something that's feeding on me. So the easiest way to prevent that, in order to have a crystal shield, right, it's running a high-speed electrical wave, the electrical potential of hydrogen. That's the gas that's used to poop with, right? So So this is basic stuff, right? And so what I always sort of had difficulty with is it's like an image that I saw today of something that's represented by in geometric form, that, if you will, represents the bits and bytes in which it's held together. Something's holding it together, which is in memory. Okay. And so then we're going to do, well, how did we put that together? Well, let's just reverse engineer, which means, listen, it's already happened. It's already together. So what I'm trying to say is that the genius and the beauty of the universe, realizing that you have a relationship with the speed at which events happen on an event horizon, and the eternal blessing that I feel within my heart and soul because you experience this, is that creativity is the highest accelerator for the highest intelligence. Because you got to know that if you created something out of what love is, you're going to naturally protect that. So you know that if the universe started with what love is the highest intelligence, because you got to have the highest intelligence to protect everything that you created out of what love is, which would be souls, which are sacred temples of living spirit. So that means, since you honor the highest law, which is the highest code of honor, which is what love is, it goes on forever because we do no harm, then it's natural, the way that love unfolds, what will get created out of the energy that you are, that happens in your mirror. Which means I don't have to think about. It just happens. Which means the universe, which is alive and living energy, is working for you. So you're manifesting what you experience in the future. Which means you're already there. You're a creator being. You're a co-creator being. You're creating what you're experiencing in that mirror. By the vibrational speed in which you're experiencing it with. And that means that you are operating, if you will, with your operating system, such a high-speed drive, that you're running a high-speed drive that is running on time wave zero, which means there is no time. You are experiencing eternal love through your heart, which is known as unconditional love, which is true love, because it's the vibrational speed of the soul that is running the operating system that you experience, because you're experiencing their energy. Because that's what the universe of creation is. It's energy. It's an engine of creation. It's not a copycat. It's an original sound musician. A spirit dancing and knows how to tune into the waves. So those waves and your energy, which is your soul, which is your consciousness, is experiencing the waves, which are the harmonics, which are the water worlds that are in balance. And when those water worlds are in balance with a four-way tetrahedron, you're on fire at the center point of that sphere, which is a real star. Whoa, now you're a star, burning hot, providing the energy for a soul system, a sphere of light solar system. Wow, that's a rising star. That's a star seed, a seed in a nursery of stars. So when it comes to the math side of that, I would say to another mathematician, the math is already being done for you. Okay? It's automatic. It's built in. It's built into this. So now we're into programming codes, key codes, and access codes in order to reprogram it. So now you're learning how to reprogram your own operating system because you know how to do that. So this is what time. It's not funny. It's extremely painful because you understand how they program. Okay, hackers, if you will, that know how to break into the operating system and recode it. Okay, codes. So now the consciousness is now experiencing something that it wasn't experiencing before. And if you're not aware of that programming language, using a simple arithmetic calculator, which is based on the polarity between the negative and the positive, which is the reverse flow and the forward flow between going back in time and forward in time, now we're into the speed game. Accelerator. Push down on the accelerator. My right foot, which is the right-hand pathway, which is the higher octave. Come on, mama, push that higher octave. Experience that goddess energy. Spin that volcano tornado, that galactic tornado. The largest shield volcano on planet Earth is what I'm standing on. So you know what's spinning? A high-speed drive. Right. Up, and away. Altitude, density, consciousness. As above, so below. So you're observing yourself. So you're observing yourself in the mirror. So when you realize you're observing yourself in the mirror and you love everything that is in your mirror, then you're in love with who you are, with the energy that you are, which is the spirit and the soul that's integrated. So you're in love with your universe. Absolutely. It began with what love, because that's what we are. So, you know, that's a guardian. Absolutely. We're guardians. Right? So when prison complexes or intergalactic slave traders and Frankensteins that want to do Frankenstein experiments, and the guardians got to get called in, right? And fix that problem. Clean that mess up. Right? Because guardians protect a universe. Guardians protect a solar system. Guardians protect a galaxy. So in order to be able to do that, it means that you got to be more powerful than they are. Otherwise, they just take you right out. Right? With all their tech. So this is where learning speed and magnetic speed really do come in when it comes to being a soul and an oversoul. Right? And so this is where we get into learning curve speed, because if they could ever overrun eternal love vibration, atoms vibrating at the highest rate of speed, they can't vibrate faster than that, can they? Which means they don't predate the first musician, the original sound field, the primal sound field. Otherwise, they'd be what that is. And if they are what that is, then they are what love is. Okay? So love wins. Absolutely. Love conquers all. So when you are what love is, it began with you. It began with me. That's what it means to be one with all creation, that we give love to. So if I was experiencing that at 4 years of age, and I'm saying that again at age 71, it hasn't changed, has it? That's right. Love is all you need. Love is all you got to be. Be what love is. Be love is. I'll leave it there. Have a good night. Be good to yourselves.